All right, so we are back, and today is going to be a push-oriented day. Looking at, I think, the push press as our power movement, our main movement, and then I think we're just going into like some regular bench pressing and whatnot. Not to look at it. I've been kind of like developing the new program as the days go by when I have some free time. So a few days into it, I'm trying to build it out for that 7-day split that I'll break up over a couple weeks at a time. And then that way it just gives me enough rest and it gives me enough jiu-jitsu days where I don't have to double up if I don't want to. But anyway, it's middle of the day. I've been really trying to get myself to want to and just start lifting in the morning. But I found that I don't know about you, but like I need at least 2 meals in me, if not 3, before I can actually get not necessarily lift and do okay, but like feel like I want to lift and that I'm strong enough and that when I get to the gym, the movements are a little more fluid and I feel better. I gotta have at least 2 meals in me of like a substantial amount of carbs, or I just don't I'm not like one of those guys who can train fasted or at least train very well fasted. I'm just sluggish and tired the whole time, and if you can, that's great. There's nothing wrong with it, but I have to have some meals in me, and I'm a very like picky lifter. I mean, I'll lift in the morning if I need to, and I'll lift at night if I need to, but I'm a big like middle of the day or at least like mid-afternoon type lifter. My best lifts are, at like 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock time, and even sometimes earlier, maybe that 1 o'clock time. And it's not always feasible, obviously, because of work and stuff, but if I had it my way, that's when I would train, just because you have enough meals in you and you've gone through like the wake up part of the day and you've gotten on to the part where you probably got some work done, you've been getting going, and it's just a good, I don't know, that early to mid afternoon is just a good time for lifting, at least for me. So that's not what's going to be today. Well, I guess kind of. It's towards the end. I'll be lifting around like 4-ish, closer to 5 probably, but not too bad. We've had some nice days, so at least we have that. And yeah, so today's going to be a push, like I said, and just getting back into everything since that lower day and some jiu-jitsu days. I'm trying to like balance it out and recover and whatnot. I just, it's hard. I get this part because clients talk to me about it, and me myself am experiencing it, that when you get out of the groove of something, it's so hard to get back into that groove. And I get that. Like, I'm dealing with that right now. It's trying to get back on like a full-on regular schedule of lifting that mixes with work schedule and like my hobbies and then family and social and whatnot. It's like, it's kind of tough. It's hard to fit it in and it's hard to figure it out. And I know once the routine gets going, it balances out. You feel a little better and you do a little better, but it's hard, especially, I work a lot with clients and I work on their schedules. So my schedule isn't always fixed. Every day it could be, a couple hours different, either in the morning or the afternoon or both ways. And maybe I'll have a big gap in the middle of the day, or I'll just have, I'll work all the way through. It's very strange, and it's hard to figured that out. And honestly, it is like the best thing to do, even if you aren't, like how I just talking about how I'm not really a morning lifter. But if that's literally the only time I could ever go, that is better than not going, obviously. So even if you have to go at a time that you know, it's not your time, or you don't feel the best to go to the gym or go on your run or whatever you're going to do, but that's the only time you have, you should like take advantage of it. And you don't have to do it every day in the times that you hate, but if your routine only allows you to, in my case, like if it's switched up to where I can only work out before work, then I would just have to figure that out and do that. That's how you would have to orient it, and eventually you're gonna adapt to stuff. Like, you know, just because you're not one way doesn't mean that over time you won't adapt to it or change the way that you feel during it. Because, you know, say you go from one job that you work at freaking, 5 a.m. and then, or you work a job where you work at 9 a.m. and you have to switch over to a job that you start working at 5 a.m. Like, you're going to get used to it eventually because you just have to. It's just something you do because that's the time you work now and you have to change. So just keep that in mind with routines. And it sucks, and it honestly does, especially training at times that you just do not feel like training at all. But, if you have to, you have to. The point is just doing it or doing something. And even if you have to train for a little bit, like you don't, say you've been working on a huge, build up with your bench press, but because of the shift, you only have now like 30 minutes for the next like few weeks or months or something because of something you're doing at work or family or whatever. And, all you can do is maybe some HIIT workouts. Like, do it because it's worth doing, and you should keep and maintain that training, regardless if it aligns with your previous or your overarching goals. Like, you're eventually going to be able to go back and start working on your bench press again. But if your decision is to just, give into your new schedule and never change your routine and just wait till your schedule fits your routine, you're never going to do it again. And then you're going to be in this constant battle that, like what I came out of the routine and now I'm trying to rebuild that routine, it's a lot of friction. You go through that whole, like the ups and downs of like, man, I do not want to work out right now, or I could be doing so much more because at this time I'm usually working on this. So, or I'm usually resting at this time. I can, I usually go home at this time, or whatever it is. Your habit or routines that conflict with the new schedule and the new routines being put in place, they're going to clash, and you're going to have to figure out what friction you give into or what friction you go against, So overall, figure out routines. Don't let routines dictate and schedule change, and routines dictate how you get your training in. You should always get your training in regardless of what it is. And, a little friction is okay. Just keep going, get to the gym or get outside or whatever the heck your type of training is. Do that training or alter it if you need to. So, I don't know. That's like some thoughts I was going through my head when I was sitting here getting ready to film, and then like figuring out when I'm going to go to the gym, because I've been working all morning and afternoon and trying to figure out how I'm going to do the rest of the schedule, because I also have my niece's recital tonight. So there's just a lot of things going on, and plus coming out of the comp and like pretty much giving strength, like that prep time, giving strength training a backseat and really honing in on all the jiu-jitsu, just really just threw my training and everything out of whack, especially because I'm not going to as many classes or combat as much. So yeah, that's just what's on my mind. Anyway, you're going to see me in the gym next. We are going to do some push stuff. I'm pretty excited because I really enjoy push press. I'm a big shoulder press and incline pressing dude. So probably won't go like super heavy with anything today. I just kind of probably match how I went against or how I did the leg day in the last video. Just kind of like easing my way into the strength training again, trying to bring up my numbers slowly, get my body attuned with lifting again, and also with the new format that I'm doing with my training, as I broke down in the last video where we're doing our prep warm-up work, and then we're doing some plyo stuff to really wake everything up, and then we're shooting for the power or the power movements like the hang clean or the push press and stuff like that, and then we'll move into the strength or hypertrophy stuff, where that's more of like the accessory stuff that you add into to complement your power lift or complement the day that you are trying to do. Because like take that leg day I did the other day, the hang cleans aren't really leg oriented, it's just it's a full body power movement. So it's okay to do. It's not that big of a deal. You can do any type of power movement with any other type of focus, because power movements typically take all of your body to do in some sort. Like even my push press today, technically my legs and hips are coming into play because I'm going to use them to get power through my body to push the weight straight up and over my head. So, choose how you want. You can match a little better if you want to. Like I'm matching the push press with my pushing day today, so it's really your thing. And then after power stuff or after strength and hypertrophy stuff, which is like the accessories, we move into mobility and like the cool down kind of stuff and really open up and whatnot.